I really love minimal landscapes. The great thing about them is that you can work from your imagination. You can be a total beginner because they're not really hard to do. It's very meditative, very rewarding because you can be creative and have it done pretty fast and have that sense of satisfaction. I'll walk you through my process. You'll see it's very, very easy and it's so much fun. For this one, I wanted to work in a large format. I used a thick paper with acrylic paints. I always tape the borders just because I feel like it gives a really clean, professional, finished edge. I feel like it makes the painting pop a lot more. From there, I choose just a few colors that I really like. Typically, I choose one color that is a little bit more muted, one other color that might pop a little bit more, and then I choose a dark color. The dark color could be any color, like a navy blue, dark green, or black. And those colors can vary from day to day. It depends on how I feel in that moment. I love experimenting with colors and discovering new palettes that kind of work well together. From there, I use one color for the skyline. I typically start with a more saturated and darker shade at the top and fading it down to white as a nice gradient to the horizon line. You can decide if you want the horizon to be really low on your page or in the middle or at the top. It just gives a different feel. You can experiment with that. You can also have the horizon line very slanted or very straight. Again, it's your choice. I do the same process with the other color. Typically it's a muted color, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any color really. You can have it be a very smooth gradient or leave it a little bit more saturated or streaky, creating more texture. And finally, with a darker color, I work on my horizon line. And for the horizon line, don't overthink it. Just think of mountains far out in the horizon, or maybe a forest, a tree line. It could be very smooth and kind of geometrical, or it could be very, very textured. It's really up to you. It gives different feels. You can play around with different types of stroke. You can have your brush really wet and blend everything together so that there's no real edges and that your mountain line fades into the horizon. You can also do the opposite, work with a dry brush, not a lot of water, and see really the texture of the paintbrush on your paper. If you want to create tree lines, you can just stipple your brush, mimicking foliage. It's all about experimenting. You can do little thumbnails in a sketchbook if you're not too sure of the type of composition you want at first or the kind of color combinations you want before starting on the bigger page. But don't overthink it. By doing a few of them, you'll get your own feel and your own style pretty fast, and then you'll get addicted because it's so much fun. If you want more art tips, please subscribe. I would love to have you back, and you can also watch this one next.
Baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you were meant for me. I'm madly in love with you.